So I've been living in LA and working in the entertainment industry for almost 20 years now. Started out in the movie industry working at Paramount Pictures, and then quickly transitioned to the music industry where I worked for music manager Scooter Braun, who worked with artists like Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande. And one of the first things that I learned when I got closer to the music industry was how important trust is and how big of a deal the reputation of an artist is. So they're very sensitive about who they're speaking with and the deals that they're doing and the festivals that they're playing and the terms of those deals. And so over the course of years of working with these artists and these teams, I really became sensitive to that and understood that they value integrity, they value honesty, and they value people coming in and offering solutions that can not only help their business but also help their brand.
I have a background in hospitality and then experiences tech. I worked at Marriott for many years and also at Resdy on the experiences tech side. And I think the thing that really comes to mind to me based on my experience and what I think, the insight that I have to help creators is when I was at Marriott, I led the experiences division there. And so we were selling thousands of experiences across the globe in all different kinds of categories. And so really what I was able to learn from that was what sells, what is the experience design that you have to bring to the table to really be able to rise above when you're on platforms sometimes that are really not differentiating you. I think that aspect in addition to the way that you market yourself. So you could have the best experience in the world and somewhat baffling not be able to sell that experience. And so just the consideration that the creators that did really well selling through our platform were putting into also the way that they presented themselves, the photography that they had, the description that they had. People actually really want to know if you're going to invest your time in an experience that it's the right one for you, and just bringing that information to the forefront, I think really makes a difference between being able to sell and being not the top sellers on the list.
So the insights that I bring to Easol and to the creators that we serve here, I think really is around the fact that I was a creator myself, or I've always been a creator myself in music experiences. I was first curating experiences at university, putting on parties for my friends and booking DJs and performers. When I graduated university, I ended up in Ibiza, and I ended up staying with this company, Ibiza Rocks, for over 10 years. And during that time, I was responsible for bringing Stormzy out to Ibiza for the first time. We put together with his team #Murky Festival. It was a really important music event that served a community that was really underserved in that environment. UK rap, grime, garage, bass music, all in Ibiza was something that was really special. So I also created a concept called Orbit DJ Retreats with a DJ producer friend of mine called Dawley, and it wouldn't have been possible without Easol. So I think I bring a lot of value to the creators that Easol partners with because I've been a creator myself.
Some of what we've observed in, certainly with Gen Z, but I think it's kind of across the board, is less and less interest in alcohol and wanting to have experiences that they can socialize, that they can be out in an environment with people, that they don't feel like alcohol is such a central component. So finding other ways to be occupied socially, that's where we see competitive socializing, I think, really play a great role to capitalize on what people are looking for. I think on the adventure side, it's kind of the opposite, maybe in from a socializing perspective, in that you're not competing with others, but you're really trying to challenge yourself to reach your full potential. I think that you see it in the work environment as well. Bring your whole self to work. I think people have gotten to a stage in which the culture has been so much separate lifestyle, where you've got your work life and then you've got your personal life, and I think recognizing that you're a whole human and blending those things together. And so finding opportunities as a creator in the adventure space to help people really understand what drives them, what motivates them, how did they really unlock their purpose and what makes them find joy in life. If you've done a certain competitive game one day, like when's the next time you really want to go back and do that thing? And so I think that finding opportunities to incorporate really next level culinary experiences, so that if you go to a competitive socializing location and you're able to also have this really great meal, you might be more likely to go back and you know, bring new friends, or, you know, it becomes a part of your consideration set, even just when you're going out for a meal. And so I think managing the F&B components and the gaming components, they're very different businesses, and so bringing that together in a cohesive way, you know, is operationally really challenging.
But what you spoke about also with the food element and the culinary experience, you know, how important that is to the location-based entertainment. Like, I feel like that's similar, becoming more similar in music as well now. Like, you used to go to festivals and it would be, you know, there'd be a burger truck and a hot dog truck, and there's chips and there's pies and there's whatever else. But like, when you go to a festival now, you expect so much more. And actually, me and my wife, when we go to festivals, that's one of our most important things. It's like, what's the food saying? Like, you know, where are we eating? Like, what have we noticed maybe at a festival in the past that we didn't get a chance to eat? And then also the kind of like the more fine dining experience, which is coming into music festivals as well now. Lost Village, which is a festival that I've been to a number of times, you know, they have a really interesting fine dining experience. So, you know, you're going to a festival, you're staying in a tent, but you're also going to have this fine dining experience, which I feel is something that's fairly new and really interesting.
Well, I think what's interesting is something in the range of 70 to 80% of a lot of artists' income comes from live events and concerts, and a trend that I've loved seeing emerge are artist-led and artist-curated live experiences, particularly for super fans. So artists, for the first time in many cases, are getting involved in the curation of these events. And what's interesting about this, Jordan, is we were just talking about how oftentimes people are going to festivals without even looking at the lineup. But on the other end of the spectrum, they're now going to festivals specifically because one artist has curated it and branded it themselves. And so I just think it's fantastic that it's one more area for them to play in, for them to be creative in, because it really is an important part of their business.
Yeah, and we've seen kind of like a trend in recent years of artists curating an entire experience, maybe around a destination. It might have started off as like curating a festival stage, but it could turn into creating a whole holiday experience for their fans. You know, I know Easol has worked with Chase and Status on their Tenerife experience, and you know, that's Chase and Status, you know, 3,000 of their super fans going on holiday, a lineup curated by Chase and Status, you know, as artists up close and personal with their fans, which, you know, I think is going to become more and more important to artists as they develop their communities, because, you know, they want to have ownership of their fans and their communities, and you know, when they get to deliver opportunities like that to their fans, it's really cool. The experience that I think that I've been to that I wish I would created, it's actually on the Easol platform, but that's probably Afro Nation. And Obi, who created Afro Nation, is you know, is an inspiration for me in many ways. But it really catered to a community that was being underserved in many ways. From the lineups, you know, the headliners that were put on Afro Nation, African artists, African diaspora artists were not getting the platform that they deserved in many ways. We're not getting the headline slots on other festivals, and the community wasn't getting the soundtrack that was warranted. So Obi created Afro Nation, and now it's a place for the African diaspora and the fans of African music to come together. And you know, when you've created that community and you're serving that community and you're authentic in the way that you're delivering it, then that's something really special. And I went in the first year, and you know, now it's gone from strength to strength. So yeah, I wish I'd created that one.